Leggings, also known by many other titles: Old Shoe Boots and Leggings, Old Shoes and Leggings, Old Man from Over the Sea, Old Man from Lee, just Old Shoes and Leggings. Seems like this is a pretty old piece of music. Before I jump into the more technical side of it, I do want to point out, for those of you who didn't read maybe the comments or whatever in the last video I uploaded, the performance of Brogan Boots and Leggings. A lot of people contacted me after that video, people from all over the world, and this is one of the things I like the most about this line of work I find myself in, is people from all over the world sometimes have versions of these songs, and that was the case with Brogan Boots and Leggings. Pretty cool. So the first person I heard from was down in Australia, and he told me that his wife's grandmother used to sing that song all the way down in Australia, and she called it Old Grey Beard a Wagon. And then some of the Patreon members over on our Patreon group, they let me know that there's a ton of Irish versions of this song called Old Man from Over the Sea, or Old Man Came Over the Sea. So they turned me on to some of those. That was really cool. And I already knew, of course, I'd been able to research on my own, and pretty quickly found that there's lots of versions here in the United States, in Appalachia specifically, of the song. So that was really cool, and you know what, that leads me to believe, y'all, that this is a really old song. I'm sure it goes back at least to the early 1800s, and when it's got a spread like that across all the English-speaking colonies, former colonies, I think it's probably at least 18th century, maybe even earlier. So, without further ado, how do we play this song? I'll get my trusty tuner on here and tell you all exactly where I'm at. So I'm in FCFAC. That is standard tuning. That's one full step down from standard tuning, or banjo tuning, or Cripple Creek tuning, or G tuning. Regular old banjo tuning. And I like to play this song two-finger. I think it sounds real pretty. It also sounds real pretty on this whopper of a old 1920s Vega banjo. But it's all on the second fret, real simple. And you start off on the middle string. Then you go to the second string open, and then you get a note, that third string at the second fret, then play it open, and then you're going to note the fourth string at the second fret. And that's how you get the first run. Mother made me ask him in. And then you're going to play that third string open a couple more times. But then note the third string. The second string open and the first string open. But I won't have him. I do a little hammer on there. But I won't have him. I asked him in, and he bit me on the chin with his Brogan boots and leggings. That's where it gets to be a bit of a mouthful. So what I do to get that high part is I take my ring finger and do what I learned to call a double note on the first string at the second fret. So all I'm doing is I'm doing a pull off and then noting it again real quick. Then it's the second and the third string open. Then you're going to note that third string, then the third string open, and then note the fourth string. Then I do a hammer on the fourth string. Then the third string open, and then a hammer on the fourth string again, and then the third string open again. So it's a real mouthful, it gets real chunky in there. I took him home and he gnawed on a bone with his Brogan boots and leggings. Took him home and he gnawed on a bone with his Brogan boots and leggings. So that's the way I come up with it. Let me show you all overhand real quick. upstroke it. With upstroke, I tend to simplify my right hand technique. So, really neat song, y'all. I hope you enjoyed it. Look out for the close-ups. I'm going to do close-ups of all three of those styles. And before I go, one thing I just thought of, probably the neatest version that I found online of this song was an Irish band called Lankum. I think that's how you pronounce it. L-A-N-K-U-M. And it's a gal and a couple of dudes playing traditional Irish music. They're pretty popular, it seems. Their version, Old Man from Over the Sea, it's really dark. It's kind of like a hashtag Me Too kind of take on the song. Real dark and kind of creepy sound. And I'll bet you, if you were going to play their version on a 5-string banjo, I'd tune it to G modal. I'd go gDGCD, and that's how I'd play their version. So if anybody's real fascinated by that version and wants me to go into that, I could do that too. Okay. Thanks for looking, and you'll see those close-ups next.